here.
Malika, I'm told that the Timberwolves are expecting Anthony Edwards to be out a period of multiple weeks. He has a bone bruise and a hyperextension after MRIs revealed that over the weekend, and it was a nasty turn of that knee, obviously, but thankfully for Anthony Edwards and the Wolves, no ligament damage, no ACL, no MCL, no serious damage in that knee, and he's a quick healer, but at minimum, my understanding is this is a 2-week minimum injury. So the Wolves up 3-1 right now are going to go to Denver tonight to try to close out this series, and they're going to have to be without him for at least the remainder of this series and potentially to start the next series. So the start of Anthony Edwards' rehab will be a lot of rest, a lot of recovery to be able to get to the point where eventually he'll be able to do basketball activities, also lowering the swelling in that knee. And remember, Malika, on the other knee, the right knee, he's been dealing with runner's knee. So this is now both knees impacted over the course of this season.
Yeah, and Shams, for Ant, you mentioned the fast healer. Chris Finch mentioned that as well. But with things like this, you have to be incredibly careful. Thank you very much, Shams, for that insight. So now, this is a cluster, really, of injuries because in the same game, they lost their entire starting backcourt for the rest of the series. Yes, Anthony Edwards, but also Dante DiVincenzo. So Minnesota's the third team since stats were tracked to have both of their starting backcourt players from the same game begin to miss time here. Bringing it inside our Los Angeles studios alongside Brian Windhorst, Shanae Agumake, Amon Shumpert. You two are every time looking away at the replays of that Anthony Edwards injury here. I don't know how Minnesota fans here are supposed to feel, Brian.
Yes, it's a very awkward position. I'm going to call Shump into remembering this. The only thing I can think of is the finals in 2015. Where the Cavs played brilliantly in Game 1, but lose Kyrie Irving, already lost Kevin Love, and you think, oh my gosh, we're in great shape, but then your guys are injured. You know, obviously, if you're a Wolves fan, you're thrilled with this prospect of being ahead 3-1. You've seen some of your guys have some of their best ever games, but you've lost your starting backcourt. And let's be honest, bone bruises are extraordinarily inconsistent in their healing. Maybe he comes back in 2 weeks. Maybe he's out for the playoffs. This is a very unique situation. And if you're the Nuggets, even though you've played, frankly, horribly, and we've just seen Nikola Jokic have, in my opinion, and many, the 3 worst consecutive playoff games of his career, they probably should be on the ropes, but they are given life because of unfortunate injury elsewhere, and they need to recover immediately. And so it's a very unusual situation to see a 3-1 situation in the playoffs.
The good thing for them, Rudy Gobert, and now me and my brother just figured it out. I think I like Rudy Gobert.
Oh,
now.
good.
You know what?
Thank you.
Rudy Gobert, you got my vote.
He earned it. He put in the work.
The way you're playing defense on Nikola Jokic, we're going to keep saying he had 3 bad games or 3 games that don't look like the Joker. But it's because of what you're doing. You're playing your ass off. And not only are you playing your ass off on the defensive end, you're making sure you get in there on the offensive rebounds. You're making sure that they throw that little pocket pass to you, and you right there in the middle. He's not just getting the ball and looking around for help anymore. Now he's putting his head down a little bit. He threw a no-look and ran off. Didn't even look at I said, what are we watching?
He took a 3-pointer.
Yeah, he did, and it hit the rim. And
Rudy Gobert, it's like Gobert.
Rebound off of that.
I don't know, but cool your jets a little bit.
I would say the question is, does this team have enough to close out the series? They have momentum, and I love the element of surprise that Ayo Dosunmu had, especially dropping 43 points, which was really cool.
Without a doubt, but the scouting report is coming.
The scout report, the roles are different, the schemes are going to be different, and, you know, they got 76 points off of the bench. Right. So some of those people are going to be in the starting lineup. How are you going to have the productivity? I understand now why Minnesota, their fans get their players tattooed on them. Because they're a team that plays hard, and they've taken on, it may not be Ant out there, but they've taken on his personality in the best ways possible on both ends of the floor. They still can win a game. They still can close out the series. It's going to be so much more difficult despite how well Rudy has been.
I think it's got to be Game 5. If they do this, they need to get it over right here, right now.
Right.
That's on the road, though, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But that's the thing for Denver is you're looking at, you have 3 games left, and if it goes that far and 2 of them are on the road, Denver has a real opportunity here. All right, we have much more on that game coming up a little later in our show, but elsewhere in the Western Conference, Houston.
Yes.
Finally.
Delayed, not denied.
I mean, the
Very
may
delayed.
still happen, but they did avoid the sweep, right? They did avoid the sweep. So the Lakers, they trailed by 6 with 30 seconds remaining in Game 3, right? Until the
This was
Lakers,
traumatic.
they got their defensive stops, and it led to shot tying this one, sending it to overtime.
Shot.
The Lakers went on to win this one in overtime, right? So here's Ime Udoka when they're trailing down 0-3.
Horrendous mistakes. I don't know if you want to say youth or, scared of the moment or whatever the case. Grow up and you're not that young anymore. You've been to the playoffs once, and we watched every situation just now.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest in the age. He wasn't lying. They looked scared and afraid of the moment, but good thing that there was another opportunity.
Well, they certainly answered the call here. Later in the second, Houston leading 46-40. Amen Thompson drills a little midi. Rockets up 48-40.
Need more of those. Need many more of those.
Early in the third, Rockets up.
Ooh, talk about passes.
Reed Shepherd, you predicted he would have a big game.
Yeah, I'm a little weak. I'm about a week late.
Yeah, a little late, but delayed, not denied, right?
Correct.
Shanae?
That pass right there denied, and then they're running the break. This is the best version of offense for Houston, getting stops and converting with a shorter court.
Şengün would go on to hit the free throw and the flex. The Rockets up 76-55 afterward. Next Rockets possession here. So watch DeAndre Ayton. Gets fouled hard on Şengün. Ayton's forearm making some contact with the side of Şengün's head. Flagrant 2 contact, actually, and he would be ejected. Although a lot of folks said
That's all.
they didn't think that it should be
Piss poor.
the case. The
Did
call?
you see that catch,
Yes.
though?
Flagrant 2, I don't even care if it's by definition.
Well,
That's
Kevin
crazy.
Durant is enjoying this win. Houston
let us
gets
have
it
this win, man.
115-96. Let's take a listen to LeBron James.
Obviously, we know coming into the series, we have to protect the ball versus them, not have too many pick sixes, which we did all night. And I mean, it started with me, obviously. Defense wasn't our problem. It was our offense. Defense wasn't our problem. We turned the ball 23 times for 30 points. Another turnover right there. So, yeah. 24. Yeah, 24.
24 turnovers, and by the way, in 3 of the games in the series, they've had at least 20. So it's been we're just able to capitalize, in part because they're the aggressor. And look, it really started with that defensive pressure. Houston had 17 steals in this game, and look where they started that pressure, right? 47 feet away from the basket. That's their second highest for any game this season, according to Genius IQ. Also, all 5 starters, they scored 15-plus first. It's the first time that's happened since 1997 for anyone who's keeping score there.
Wow.
But when you're looking at adjustments for Houston, what did they do here, Janae, that allowed this outcome?
They finally played with some pride because you don't want to get swept, especially knowing that Kevin Durant was not available. You heard me? That's defense. Defense, they finally found their defense. That's what they've needed. And I do believe that when you think about them scoring in transition, they were 11 for 13 in transition. They forced, as you mentioned, 24 turnovers. When they play with a shorter court, that's their best version of offense, meaning when they get steals, when they get stops. Amen Thompson said after the game, they dove on the floor for loose balls. That's their edge, and that's what helps galvanize everything else moving forward. I also think that an important thing to note is that Kevin Durant not being on the floor, they understood that they had to play team basketball on both ends. Kevin Durant has been kind of like a free safety for them defensively. He can clean some things up. But offensively, this is a team that now didn't hesitate. They were sort of getting caught and lost in the sauce with KD getting doubled and not knowing what to do. With him out of the equation, it felt like they understood they had to rely on each other and full team basketball.
Well, they've been pressing higher all series, but what helps when you're pressing is if you're making shots. It becomes much more difficult if you're not making the shots that they were last night.
But I think that's the growing confidence that she's touching on, where you're saying because he's not there, now there's not as much pressure to be efficient. There's not as much squeezing the trigger. It's everybody swinging it around. Everything's free flow. You kind of know how your teammates play. You want to dish it off to your homie now. The direct barometer of that for me was looking at Reed Shepherd and saying, man, the first couple of games, everybody was thinking you scared. It looked clear out there, like you don't want the ball. They're leaving you right now. The only available thing for Reed Shepherd to do in a lot of these games has been put your head down, go all the way to the basket and finish, or shoot that 3 and make it. But anytime he shot it, it was short. It looked like indecisiveness. Any turnover came, indecisiveness. And as soon as he saw the aggression coming out of him, I'm like, okay, now the Lakers have a little problem because
4 threes,
you know what I'm
Reed
saying?
Shepherd,
Once you got everybody rolling with some confidence, now you got a problem because before you had them on the ropes feeling like there's no hope without
But
KD.
you're both talking about the time without Kevin Durant, right?
Yeah.
Is that time going to, we're looking at game 5.
Yeah,
Will that
looking
continue?
forward in this series,
Right.
Kevin Durant is dealing with a bone bruise. It's not just a sprained ankle. A sprained ankle is ligament injury. A bone bruise, obviously, is a bone injury. It's inconsistent. The swelling has gotten out. He's been going treatment, like 10 hours a day. He got the swelling out, but the bone bruise is unpredictable. So it is 2 days between now. They get Monday and Tuesday off. He's not been ruled out for the series, but obviously this bone bruise. The other thing I'll say is Austin Reeves has been questionable the last 2 games.
Do you think
is
that's
obviously,
gamesmanship, or do you think that's...
Well, I do think the Lakers didn't put their all 100% into yesterday. I think they will put their all to try to get it on Wednesday to not have to go back to Houston.
Game 5, it's Wednesday on ESPN. Coming